There's a saying that always sticks with me. When working, surround yourself with people more successful than you. When playing, surround yourself with people happier than you. At first glance, it sounds simple, right? But the deeper I thought about it, the more I realized how much wisdom is packed in there. It's like a compass, guiding how we should approach the people in our lives, both in work and in play. It's about balance, the kind of balance that can shape your entire life. Life has a rhythm, doesn't it? It's easy to get lost in the daily grind. We wake up, work, and push ourselves to chase those elusive goals of success. But pause for a second. Have you ever noticed how the people around us shape our journey? Now, let's start with the first part of the quote. When working, surround yourself with people more successful than you. There's something profoundly humbling and inspiring when you sit with someone whose success eclipses yours. It's like they're a lighthouse, shining their light on the path you didn't even know existed. But not everyone dares to do that. Many of us surround ourselves with people who are just like us, same position, same skill level. And there's a comfort there, I get it. It feels safe. But what happens when you never step outside that comfort zone? Let me share a story with you. There was this young man, let's call him Raj. Raj worked hard day and night, but he hit a ceiling in his career. Why? He was surrounded by people who were as comfortable as him. He never reached out to mentors or sought the company of those more successful, more visionary than him. Slowly, Raj's progress plateaued. And he told himself stories like, I'll figure it out myself, or I don't need others to show me the way. But deep down, he knew something was missing. His growth was stunted, and the dreams he had, they started to feel distant, unreachable. Now let's flip this around. Imagine if Raj had surrounded himself with people who had already crossed the bridge he was trying to build. Successful people don't just give you knowledge, they give you access to a mindset. They see things you can't see yet. And their presence alone can ignite a fire within you. It's like suddenly the boundaries you thought existed just dissolve. Take, for example, Steve Jobs. During his early years at Apple, he surrounded himself with the brightest, most innovative minds in the industry. And it wasn't just about their technical expertise, it was their vision, their audacity to dream big, that pushed Steve to keep challenging the status quo. Imagine if Jobs had chosen to only work with people on the same level as him, who just nodded along, Apple might never have been the innovative giant it is today. But on the other side of this spectrum, we have play. Playing is underrated, isn't it? And that brings us to the second part of the quote. When playing, surround yourself with people happier than you. It's funny, isn't it? How we often forget to play, to breathe, to live lightly. We spend so much time hustling that we sometimes don't know how to just let go. There's this story from an ancient Zen teaching where a student was trying so hard to attain enlightenment. Day after day, he meditated, fasted, and studied scriptures. His master watched, quietly observing. One day, the master took the student to the garden and handed him a small cup of sake, the traditional rice wine. He said, "Drink." The student hesitated, thinking this was a test. But the master repeated, "Drink." The student took a sip, and the master said, "Let your spirit loosen. Wisdom comes not just in stillness, but in joy." The student didn't get it at first. But the lesson? You can't just focus on work and expect to be whole. You need joy, you need to play, to laugh, to feel lighter than air. Imagine you're always surrounding yourself with people who are chasing, hustling, stressing. It becomes exhausting. You start thinking that life is all about the grind. But the people who know joy, who can show you how to laugh even when the world seems heavy, they teach you balance. They remind you that no matter how much you achieve, if you can't enjoy the moment, the success starts to lose its meaning. I knew someone once, a woman named Maya, who had everything. She was the epitome of success, a thriving business, accolades, wealth. But happiness? Not so much. She surrounded herself with ambitious, successful people, but the problem was that they were always on. Always chasing something, always comparing. It was like no one ever stopped to breathe. Over time, she found herself miserable. Then one summer, Maya took a trip to a small village just for a break. And there she met a group of villagers. They didn't have much, but my God, they had laughter. They danced at sunset, shared meals with joy, and lived in the moment. It was there that Maya realized happiness was not in the climb, but in the way we lived each day. She started changing her life, little by little, spending more time with people who reminded her how to laugh, who showed her how to enjoy the fruits of her labor, and not just keep planting new seeds. You see, both parts of this quote balance each other. When you're at work, you want to be challenged, stretched, and surrounded by those who pull you upwards. And when you play, you want to be around those who bring you back to earth, to remind you that life is not just about climbing, it's about dancing along the way. If you don't live by this balance, you risk burnout, or worse, an empty success. Imagine climbing a mountain, reaching the top, but finding no joy when you get there. Success without happiness is a hollow victory, and happiness without growth can leave you feeling stagnant. But when you bring the two together, surrounding yourself with those more successful than you when you work, and those more joyful when you play, that's where life's magic truly happens. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, who am I choosing to be around? Who challenges me? Who reminds me to laugh? And are you letting yourself be open to both? Because when you do, life doesn't just become something you get through, it becomes something you truly live.